and today we will be talking about below Giza. And the Giza Plateau, the site of some of the most impressive ancient monuments in the world. Humans all over the world, they come to Cairo to look upon pyramids and the Sphinx. But below these magnificent structures lies a large amount of myth, documented evidence, legends of a huge underworld. Greg Braden presents the first documented source of its existence in the Greek historians Herodotus. During his life in the 4th century, he put together a record called the Histories of an ancient civilization, ancient cultures, and technologies that occurs at his time by thousands and thousands of years. He starts talking about Giza, and below Giza he speculates that there were passages, chambers, pathways. Some of them they were natural, created by water, and some of them created by man. Herodotus believed that in that location the rest of the ancient civilization were able to store the histories, the records, the writings, everything underneath that. Giovanni Battista and Henry Salt found a place, not at the plateau, not at the pyramids, not at the Sphinx, just on the edge of a little known site that now is called the Tombs of Birds. And we know that the Tomb of Birds, it was dedicated as a place of a bird god. And it is believed that it's more likely to be Thoth, which is the keeper of the hidden records. In 2008, Andrew Collins followed Henry Salt's path. So they did a lot of discoveries. It wasn't anything interesting, but they didn't give up. So Andrew Collins kept research, and in the end he found an old diaries note written in 1817 by Henry Salt. Henry Salt and Giovanni Gaviglia were uncovering the sand around the Sphinx, plus into the Tomb of the Birds. The diaries are talking about going into a cave system. So Andrew Collins and the team, they found a small crack leading into this cave chamber, exactly how the notes they were describing, and they realized it was actually leading towards the second pyramid. Andrew expressed how dangerous it was going deeper and deeper down there, as he saw thousands of bats, he saw spiders, and most of them they were clearly poisonous. When they went deeper and deeper into the cave system, the air became very bad, so they started affecting them. Andrew Collins and the team decided to get out. They got out, they wrote all the reports, and then they went to the Egyptian authorities so they can make them aware of what's happening at that location. The authorities completely denied and said that apparently that location has been discovered a long time ago. And what is very weird about it is that few months later, the head of the Supreme Council of Antique, Dr. Zahi Havas, was going into the cave and was claiming that it was the best experience at Giza that he found. So that's a little bit interesting. But in 2008, it hasn't been made any discoveries. In 2010, the access to the tomb was completely closed as they blocked it by a metal gate. And then I've been to Egypt. I had the local people that they took us around there, and I did saw the block metal. We are actually trying to go inside or try to put a camera in there, but we couldn't. We weren't able to do anything. So where are they going? Where they lead to? It must have to be something to do with the underworld. Now, some experts might believe that the Sphinx might gonna hold the key. And we have this figure called the prophet, the sleeping prophet, Eddard Gates. And he did a seismic exploration. Basically, they took a sledgehammer and hit into the steel plate, and that was on the surface of the desert, creating shock wave go into the earth. And as they came back, if they went through an empty space, they will travel faster. if they went through a solid rock, they will travel slower. The graphic showed that there is a chamber that Edgar predicted inside the Sphinx, and it can be found underneath the bones of the Sphinx. Another mysterious possible entrance is at the Osiris shaft. Herodotus visited the Giza Plateau in 450 BC. Experts said that in the Osiris shaft, it's a very mysterious underground structure that accessed from an entrance beneath the causeway, which is linked to the second pyramid, and that's on 3 levels. The lowest level is an island where the water could come in from the Nile, and it's a tomb with sarcophagus set down into the rocky island. And this is exactly what's matching it, what Herodotus told us, because Greek Braden led a locked iron gate. The gate was open, him and the team, they went through, and once they were going down to the 3rd level, the water prevented them from going any further. They found sarcophagus there, and some believe that that was the end of the tomb, and that sarcophagus underwater was holding the body of Osiris. But of course, we do love time. Later in the days, something more interesting happened, and they discovered that sarcophagus is fake and it doesn't hold any Osiris body. It actually holds a ladder, and when you open it, it reveals a ladder that goes down into the deeper level of underneath Giza. The question is, was it built before the pyramids and the Sphinx, or the pyramids and the Sphinx were built and later these tunnels were carved by itself? And if it's yes, how could that be done? Well, in July 1911, we have an archaeologist called George Reinsner, and he started an excavation, and he was talking to the press all the time. So while he was working on the Giza Plateau for several years, the next year he decided to dig around the Sphinx, and he claimed to have discovered the hole in the Sphinx head. Now, because he was all the time with the press, he told the American press, and the following year several of magazines covered George's discovery, explaining that he went much deeper into the Sphinx and he discovered an old city buried underground and a solar temple that apparently was 6,000 years old. So, what was the purpose for the structure of the Giza? Seems like nobody's looking that much into it, but in the same time we are very, very lucky, because we do have experts back in the days that they did a little bit of research, and one of them is Anton Parks, and he believed the purpose of the underground base was to hide the big numbers of vassals and warriors. The Sumerians and Egyptian texts explained that the gods, they used flying ships or fire ships. They needed a place where to hide them, so they did in a lot of caves in the Giza Plateau. According to Anton Park's research, the Giza Plateau is made up of approximately 7 levels. The Egyptian funerary text gives the same number. Now, at the Karnak temple shows a door divided into 7 parts that would symbolize different levels of the underground. Now, in certain parts of the funerary text, the first level is for the prisoners, and people of the court also live there as well. On the second level, they have the gardens and the god flock. The third level, they were the hybrids. They were Egyptian gods, they mixed with the humans. This level was dedicated to their offspring, the hybrids, which they were half god, half human. On the fourth level, the Egyptians, god, royalty. All the royal court, they were there, they live at the fourth level. The technology that allows all of the level to breathe was on level 5. And it must be a technology that created an artificial atmosphere. Level 6 is the weapons and the gods' vessels, and not the last one, but the seventh apparently is not very big, and housed a power generator, is supplying the different levels with all the power that they needed all around the other levels. And this is the last sentence, but so much could be found, could be discovered if we are allowed to explore.